The flight was heading to its destination. Every crew member was fully performing their duties. I was one of the crew for this flight. Everything was running smoothly and the weather was normal. All the passengers were satisfied with the service. Until the last hour before we reached the destination. I began walking through the cabin to check on all the passengers. After finishing my section, my colleague from the rear section asked me to help continue the check all the way to the back, since she needed to look after an elderly passenger who had suddenly felt dizzy. As I walked toward the very last row of the plane, I noticed a woman passenger around 40 to 45 years old. She was sitting with her head slightly down and didn't look well, so I asked if she needed any help. She raised her head, looked me in the eyes, and gave me a faint smile with a sorrowful expression. She asked me to deliver a message to her husband, who was seated toward the front of the cabin. She wanted me to tell him not to forget to take his medicine on time, and that she loved him. I didn't quite understand why this couple wasn't sitting together. I assumed it might have been a booking issue, so I promised her I would deliver the message to her husband. I walked to the seat where she said her husband was. I found a man there, matching her description. His eyes were red and swollen as if he had been crying, and he looked just as sorrowful. When I relayed his wife's message to him, he looked at me with confusion, then took out his phone and showed me a photo of a woman. I confirmed to him that the woman in the photo was the same one I had just spoken to in the last row. At that, he began to cry. When we arrived at the destination, as I stood at the exit to send off the passengers, that same man walked straight to me and thanked me for passing on his wife's message. I smiled and asked why his wife hadn't walked out with him. He told me that his wife had boarded the plane with him, but she had been loaded in the cargo hold underneath.